If you live in Greenville and you're looking to build a better life with your dog, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down how to find a great local dog trainer, someone who can really help you and your best friend make the most of living here.
All right, here's the plan. We'll start with what training for Greenville life really looks like. Then we'll cover how to find the right trainer for you. After that, we'll talk about the practical stuff, costs and what questions you absolutely have to ask. And finally, we'll get to the fun part, where to go around town to practice all those new skills.
Okay, first up, training for Greenville life. What does that even mean? Well, it's really about getting your dog ready for the real world that's waiting right outside your door here in town.
Think about it for a second. Wouldn't it be great to take a nice, calm walk on the South Tar River Greenway without your arm feeling like it's going to pop off? Or to handle the crowds near ECU or the town common without your dog getting totally stressed out? That's really what this is all about. Good training gives you the freedom to confidently go out and enjoy Greenville with your dog.
All right, let's talk about a few local rules, because a good trainer is going to help you with all of this stuff. Here in Greenville, your dog has to be on a leash in public city spaces. Simple enough. And of course, you've got to clean up after them. A trainer can make walking on a leash a breeze, and they can also help with things like excessive barking, so you can be a good neighbor. Oh, and make sure that rabies tag is on their collar. That's a state requirement, but it's an easy one to check off the list.
Next up, finding the right trainer. This is a big one. It's about figuring out what to look for in a real professional and what really sets a great, modern trainer apart from everyone else.
Okay, if there's one term you should really get familiar with, it's positive reinforcement. All it means is that we're focusing on rewarding the behaviors we want to see instead of punishing the ones we don't. It's all about rewarding your dog for making good choices. And here's the best part. It does more than just teach commands. It actually builds your dog's confidence and makes that bond between you two so much stronger.
So let's break that down a little more. With positive reinforcement, you're using rewards, maybe a treat, some happy praise, or a quick game of tug, to basically tell your dog, yes, do that again. On the other hand, you've got punishment-based methods, which, rely on intimidation or physical corrections to try and stop a behavior. The thing is, modern, certified trainers just don't use those old-school methods anymore. We know now they can create a lot of fear and anxiety, and honestly, they can just make behavior problems even worse.
Now here's something you might not know. North Carolina doesn't actually require dog trainers to be licensed. So how do you know who's legit? Well, you look for certifications. These letters, like CPDTK or KPA-CTP, they're your best guide. You don't have to memorize them all, but just know that they mean the trainer has actually studied and passed exams on animal behavior and ethics. Seeing these credentials is a really good sign that you're dealing with a professional who's committed to using humane, modern methods.
And here's another thing a good trainer will probably bring up, especially if you have a new dog. It's called the 3-3-3 rule. It's just a simple way to remember to be patient. It takes about 3 days for a new dog to decompress, just get over the shock of a new place. Then 3 weeks to start learning your routine. And really, it can take a full 3 months for them to feel truly at home. It's all about having realistic expectations and giving them a little grace.
All right, let's get into the practical side of things, costs and key questions. You know what you're looking for in a trainer, so now let's talk money and what you need to ask before you hire somebody.
So, what can you expect to pay for training here in Greenville? Well, as you can see, it really varies. Group classes are usually the most budget-friendly option, and they're fantastic for learning basic manners while your dog gets used to being around other dogs. Private lessons give you that one-on-one time, which is great for tackling specific issues. And then you have board and train, which is the most intensive and costly option, usually reserved for some pretty serious behavior challenges.
Okay, with those kinds of numbers, you want to make sure you're spending your money wisely, right? So, what should you actually ask a trainer before you sign up?
Any good professional trainer will be happy to answer these. You definitely want to ask about their methods, make sure it's the positive reinforcement stuff we just talked about, ask about their certifications. A really great question is how they use real-world locations here in Greenville, so it's not all just happening in a sterile room. But maybe the most important question on this list is the last one. What is my role? Because, look, great training is a team sport. What you do between sessions is what makes all the difference.
Okay, on to our last section, putting skills into practice. So you've got a trainer, you're learning things, now it's time to take it on the road and apply it all right here in Greenville. And here are some fantastic local spots to do just that. The key here is to think of it like leveling up in a game. You can start somewhere quiet, like Elm Street Park or the trails over at River Park North, to really focus. Once you've got that down, you can graduate to a place with a few more distractions, like the town common. And then, when you're both feeling really confident, you can tackle the advanced level, practicing downtown. It's all about setting your dog up for success by building up slowly.
Because at the end of the day, all this effort isn't just about teaching sit and stay. It's about building a confident, happy dog you can share your life with. The goal isn't to have a perfectly obedient robot, but a real companion, one you can take for a quiet morning stroll at the town common, or who can handle a busy afternoon downtown without a problem. So, good luck out there. I hope you find the perfect training partner to help you and your dog enjoy all the great things Greenville has to offer together.